I worked on the PRS for Music data governance project for just over 2 years. And this is an organization that has to handle trillions of records of data, and they are the absolute experts at doing that. But as data volumes have grown and systems have been developed in a bespoke way, because there aren't multiple organizations that do this, so you can't buy off-the-shelf systems. In some cases, technology choices were being led by the third-party development companies that they were working with, and sometimes technology decisions were being made in silos. So there was a real need for having a more transparent accountability model across the organization. So in terms of what we did and when, we started off in 2020 by forming up a nascent data strategy and a short to medium term roadmap. And as part of this phase 1, we created a target operating model for the data team and secured funding to tackle data governance across the business. And then moving into 2021, we developed the structure for the data governance framework in terms of the roles and groups that would be required. We started forming up some principles and policies and took the first steps into allocating data ownership and stewardship. We started the rollout with the key areas of membership and ops as being the most critical data, and held the first data steering group. So this was the kind of strategic data board in early 2021. And then in the remainder of 2021, we recruited a data governance team, onboarded more areas of the business into the stewardship roles, and ultimately had enough stewards in place that we were then able to start running the data working group, which is the more operationally focused forum. Our initial focus for each area was to start understanding the data better by asking them to define their top key data items for the corporate glossary. And then moving into 2022, we started focusing more on the extent to which data was fit for purpose. We captured data quality issues and standards and started creating some high-level system maps showing all of the key data flows and integration points. And by 2023, the data governance framework was pretty well embedded. So we decided to broaden our view from data governance alone to do a wider assessment of the full data management capability in the form of a maturity assessment. The central data governance team is strategically key for managing data going forward. They facilitate the whole framework to operate. They are delivering a data quality tooling capability, and they're driving the maturity of data management uplift across the whole business. In terms of success stories, the collective decision-making by senior leadership has been a bit of a game changer. To have them so engaged in discussing projects and risks, coming to a consensus, more invested in wider data improvements, cognizant of overlaps, and championing standardization and simplicity. There's also a greater knowledge of data quality issues across the whole business, and a project looking at getting dedicated data quality tooling in place. And as we know, improved data quality leads to less rework, fixing data, and ultimately better business decisions being made. The artifacts we've developed, such as the glossary and system maps, have been used to really good effect by business analysts and designers, which in turn is accelerating all of their projects and creating more standardization of analysis and design artifacts. There was also one situation where there was an audit about to be done, and the third party wanted to understand how all of the systems interconnected. So we were able to serve them up with this set of system maps that we developed with the data stewards, which gave them everything they needed to know and saved a massive amount of time pulling other disparate documentation together or having them interview key members of staff to figure out how everything connected. So we've got better compliance, efficiency gains, and agility from having done that piece of work. There's also a huge shift in the organizational culture to being more aware of data management best practice and really starting to realize their core data principle that data management is everyone's responsibility. And finally, improved data management has become a top priority for the business and is now being tracked as a strategic corporate goal. There's still a long way to go for full embedding and loads of further enabled value realization to come. So we are truly just starting to scratch the surface.